What's up, guys? Todd here, What You Want Sports, and today we are going to be talking about the 2019 Peach Jam Tournament. Now, if you do not know what that is, it is hosted by the EYBL, probably the largest, most recognized AAU traveling basketball circuit there is, and this is the championship. So this is the best of the best. You had almost 70% of the top players in the country that were ranked playing in this tournament. I went for a couple days, and I kind of just want to recap some of the things that I saw and give my take. So basically, I'm going to dive into 3 lists in this episode. I'm going to talk about my top 5 surprises of players, top 5 disappointments, and my top 5 players regardless of class. Now, there were 3 classes represented in this. They didn't all play in the same, play on the same teams. There were different levels. There's the Peach Jam, and then there's the Pit, and then there's the East 16, East 15, which is basically 15U, 15 and under. So we're gonna start with my top 5 surprises. Okay, these are players that I feel that with their rankings and going into it, players that I thought wowed me considering what most scouts have them as. Number 1, Namari Burnett. All right, Namari Burnett, he played on Team Why Not. They went to the championship game, lost to Mocan Elite. He is a 6'3" shooting guard. He blew me away. He had a great handle. He's super long, super explosive, fearless guy on offense, fearless guy on defense, competes on all levels, went for rebounds. The only thing about him, arms are kind of long. He had a good jumper. I think obviously he's going to have to work on his jumper kind of mechanically. There's some mechanics to work out. It's not the best looking jumper in the world, but shots fell for him. I was blown away by this guy. His teammate, Jalen Green, hell of a player, hell of a talent. The beginning of the game, I thought he looked better. I thought he looked like the best player on the floor. He, to me, is a top 10 player in this class. I don't care what you can say. I saw other players that aren't what he is now and aren't going to be what he is down the road. I think he was made for the NBA right now. Again, kept his head down, not really super willing to pass the ball. But again, he kind of reminded me of CJ McCollum a little bit. Just kind of the way he plays, kind of an undersized 2. He's not a point guard. He's never going to be a point guard, But yeah, just a beast, man. Very, very impressed with Namari Burnett. Look out for him. Number 2, we have Jalen Terry. He is a point guard. He's committed to Michigan State, and he is ranked 69th. Nice. In the 2020 draft class, 2020 high school class. He impressed me a lot. I saw him play twice. The first game, I saw him catch a lob from outside the paint. He went off the back of the rim, but 5'11" to be doing that. He's very explosive, great out of the pick and roll, a leader, fearless. He was pulling shots from everywhere. He can stroke the ball. I think he has a great fit at Michigan State. I think he's gonna make a lot of headlines at Michigan State. He's not a one and done guy. That's not who he is, but he is a beast. He is a hell of a player, and I'm really excited to see what he can do. His only issue that I saw was his height. There was really nothing else that I didn't see from him. He looked like an elite prospect, in my opinion, top 25 guy. Really, he was one of the best point guards that I saw. Number 3, we have Frank Kepnang. This is a name you're not going to hear about too much. He's ranked number 19 in the 2021 class, so he's actually a rising junior, playing a year up. I actually didn't know anything about this guy going in. I made a note to check him out because I saw this guy who's 6'10", running the floor, super athletic, and he was just swatting shots away, sprinting down the floor, catching balls, laying them up, and I wanted to check him out. He's actually rated pretty highly in his class. But yeah, he has wide shoulders, a good frame to build muscle onto. Obviously, he goes through a college. If he puts on an extra 15, 20 pounds, he's going to look very physically imposing. And yeah, the thing about big men is you really want to see, how do they move? Do they look natural? Do they look comfortable in their size? He ran really well, very fast. I really like his potential, and I think he's a guy we need to keep our name keep an eye on in case he kind of puts some things together offensively in the post. Then he's gonna be scary. All right. Next player is Micah Peavy. He is ranked 33rd in the class. He is a shooting guard, and he, right out of the gate in his game that I saw, he showed that he was the best player on the floor. And it's not necessarily because he's the most polished player. He is just the most athletic guy. He stood out as soon as you saw him. He's 6'6", 6'7", kind of wiry. But first couple minutes of the game, he was just flying coast to coast, dunking. Not the most polished guy in the world. Okay handle. Needs to work on his ability out of pick and rolls and his ability to shoot the ball. But a great prospect right now. He is just so physically gifted. To see a guy at his height beat everyone down the floor, repetitively the entire game, continuously, was very impressive. I think you want to keep an eye out for Micah Peavy. Dude's a beast. Last player is Hunter Dickinson. Now, Hunter Dickinson has actually fallen a lot. He's in the class of 2020. He's ranked 36th. He's actually fallen a lot since he originally showed up on the ESPN 25 as a rising sophomore. He used to be ranked in the top 10 pretty consistently. He's kind of starting to fall off. I think it's from his lack of ability to stretch the floor. He doesn't really have a good jump shot. He can shoot free throws, which is a good indicator of shooting potential. But from what I saw, he's just a very, very skilled big. Best passing big I saw. The team they were playing was constantly running a full court press. He was the one breaking the press. When the team operated with him down at the free throw line, at the high post, whatever, it was when they were at their best. He was just very impressive. Post moves out of this world. I saw him hit a Euro step on a fast break. He went boom, boom, went split two guys, open layup, and he's 7'2". Very impressive, super skilled. I do not think he's gonna be a lottery pick for the NBA, but I do think whatever team gets him in college is going to love what they get. So those are my top 5 surprises. I didn't want to put any guys that were top 10 because I feel like it's not a surprise. I kind of expect your 5 stars to go in there and be 5 stars. So yeah, those are my guys I thought were my biggest surprises / sleepers. So next, my top 5 disappointments. These are guys that I expected to see more from them from either mixtapes or scouting reports or just in general. Starting off with Isaiah Todd. This dude is so skilled. He's a 6'10" power forward. He actually goes at a school down the road from me, Trinity Academy. He's from Virginia. He's 8th in the class of 2020. He is a super skilled power forward. He can shoot, he can dribble, he can run the floor, he can kind of do it all. I just think he's lazy. He's lazy and he doesn't want to play like a big man. For a lot of stretches of the game, he disappeared. I think he's kind of scared of contact. He's a little lanky, but he's big enough to where he should be fighting for boards a lot more and being a little more active on the defensive end. Again, he has a sky-high ceiling, which I understand is why he's ranked so high. But I want to see a lot more effort out of him before I think he's going to actually make some noise and be a lottery pick for the NBA. Number 2, it's actually the number 1 prospect in the 2021 class who I actually think is going to drop when the new rankings come out. At least that's what I think. And that's Patrick Baldwin. He's 6'9", 6'10", forward. And yeah, I didn't see him do anything. He had a really bad weekend. I know all games he had a bad weekend. And now he's the best shooter in his class. He might be the best shooter in the country. That's debatable, but statistically, he was probably the best shooter there. But yeah, offensive versatility. He has to play the 4. He cannot play the 3. From what I saw, he just doesn't have the handle for it. He's more of a face-up 4, which is fine. But I think defensively, he's going to struggle a lot. He's kind of flat-footed. The game I saw 2 games, a game and a half, and the one full game I saw, he had a lot of issues on defense, got into foul trouble early, didn't get to play much, and that's what's going to happen if a team knows you can't really play defense. They're going to attack him. They attacked him early. He got a couple stupid fouls, a couple bad calls, but yeah, I think that he's a catch and shoot guy. I don't think he has the ability to create a shot, and at the next couple levels, I think he's going to struggle with it because he's not the best athlete in the world. But again, he's a top prospect. I mean, with his height and his shooting ability alone, that warrants a top 5 prospect in my eyes. But yes, I was disappointed. I expected to see better from the number 1 player in the class. Number 3, I have the number 10 recruit in the country. That is Josh Christopher. He is a shooting guard from California. I just heard about him that he was this, polished player. Just like he could do it all on the court. And what I saw, I wasn't wowed like I thought I would be. And I think if other players did what he was doing, I would have been a lot more impressed. I think obviously just hype has a lot to do with this. But he had many opportunities where he was in transition and people sagged off and he had open threes and he just wasn't pulling them. He was kind of waiting to go to the basket all game, slashing, which is fine. But he needs to expand his range. I also didn't see him do a lot of work out of the pick and roll. He has a solid handle. He's a big, strong guy. Seemed to be solid defensively. Didn't really have any breakdowns. But yeah, he seems like more of a project than I was expecting for him to look. Next guy, Jalen Johnson. He's a 6'9" small forward. He's going to Duke. He's the number 4 player in the 2020 class. And it's tricky with him because he's a point forward. And most point forwards you don't expect to be shooters because that's why they pass so much. And he looks smooth. He looks like he can handle the ball. He can pass really well. He's very athletic, solid defensive versatility. But I just think that his inability to be able to create a jumper and hit it is going to really hurt him. I worry about him at Duke. He's not going to be a Brandon Ingram or a Jason Tatum. He's going to be kind of weird because he's not as explosive as you might like for a guy that can't really shoot the ball. But he was impressive. He finished with his left and his right. He got to the line a lot. But again, I was just disappointed. He's the 4th highest rated player in the class. I expected him to at least try to hit some big shots. And he made the right plays down the stretch, but I was just disappointed. I expect more from a top 5 player in the class. Number 5, this guy isn't rated that high. Okay, it's Julian Strother. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. He's ranked 37th in the class. He's going to Gonzaga. I just wanted to point this out. I watched an entire game, and I only noticed him one time. He drew a charge. I didn't notice him with any crazy rebounds. I didn't notice him with any crazy putbacks, and not dunks, just offensive rebounds or pushing the pace or great passes or anything. I didn't notice him at all. And I know some players do all the little things, but I normally notice that I didn't see anything. Hopefully it was just a bad game, but yeah, I was disappointed in that. I thought a player going to Gonzaga, kind of the top 30 guy, I thought he was going to be one of those guys I was very impressed to see. I was looking forward to watching him, and he kind of just fell away. So yeah. All right. Yeah. And again, guys, this is from a couple games of me watching. I'm not a professional scout. I do think I know a lot about the game of basketball just from watching and seeing players kind of progress. But again, it's just from a small sample size. But this is what I noticed. And a lot of my stuff is online with a lot of what the big scouts say. So now we go to my top 5 players regardless of class. And then this one, I'm going to do a reverse order. I'm going to go from 5 to 1. So my 5th best player, regardless of class that I watched, was B.J. Boston. He is a 6'7" shooting guard / small forward. He's actually transferring to Sierra Canyon. He's from Georgia. He was really impressive. I thought he was going to be kind of just a shooting, slashing small forward. But he did everything on the court. I mean, I seriously noticed that on defense, he plays defense with his feet, not with his arms and his hands. And that's very rare to see, is a guy that can move his feet and stay in front of somebody. And he shut down whoever he was guarding. He was grabbing rebounds and pushing the pace, taking rebounds and throwing it all the way down the floor, diming it to people for the layups. Played great off ball. Super impressed with him. Super impressed with him. And he's 6'7" with a beautiful shooting stroke. Super impressed with him. He is a top 5 guy. He's top 7 in his class. He needs to stay there. Super impressive. Did all the little things. Checked every box for me. I'm really impressed with him, and I hope he goes to a program where he can develop even more and maybe even get a little more aggressive shooting the ball. Number 4 is the number 3 player in the 2021 class, and that is Jalen Green. Most people know Jalen Green. If not, I don't know where you've been living. He's, kind of like this, Dominican Kobe Bryant. Super bouncy, super springy. When I first saw him, he wasn't really doing anything. He was kind of passive, which is what I expect from a guy who's a highlight reel who only averages like 18 points a game in the AAU circuit, until I heard someone yell, "Turn it on," and he turned it on. He can shoot, man. He really can. He has a good jumper, super athletic. I think puts his head down, obviously. He doesn't like to give the ball up like most young shooting guards. Don't have any negatives about him. He's not super long, but he's tall for his position. And I think he was as advertised. He's super athletic, can shoot the ball really well, kind of streaky. Most guys this age are streaky. You just want to see that they have the ability to do that. And he's fearless attacking the rim. Very impressed from Jalen Green. Now, number 3, it has the guy who I think is the number 1 in the class of 2021, and that's Jonathan Kuminga. Jonathan Kuminga was by far the best player in the 2021 class. I was blown away by him. He shoots the ball a lot. That's my only knock on him, is that he's 6'8", 6'9", and pretty physically built. And a lot of times the games he shied away and settled for contested jumpers. Now, he hits a lot of them, but he's his best when he's attacking the basket, like most players are when they're 6'8", 6'9" wings. Going against guys that are at that size are typically a little more flat-footed, not as athletic. But yeah, he was super impressive, super impressive. He can guard. He was guarding anyone on the floor. In high school, he probably guards 1 through 5. I have no doubt he does that. But he can guard 2 through 4 with ease. Can stroke the ball. Needs to work on his handling. I thought kind of, who does he play like? He's not a Cam Reddish. If you hear Cam Reddish, it's just not true. He doesn't have his ability to create space for his own jumper. He's more of a catch-and-shoot guy when it comes to shooting, but super great. Impacted the floor. The game I saw, he had like 38, 39 points or something. He couldn't be stopped. Very impressive. I like Jonathan Kuminga a lot. Definitely, and the thing is, he's still a prospect. He still has a lot of his game to work on, but he's very impressive. Now, the number 2 player, regardless of class, is number 1, number 2 player, depending on where you look, for the class of 2020, and that's Cade Cunningham. Cade Cunningham was as advertised. He's 6'8", 6'7", really long, wide shoulders, built, smooth, and athletic. When he plays, it looks like the game's in slow motion. He's never rushed, no matter what. He's just smooth. And my only issue with him is that I don't know what position he could play. I think that he would struggle. He's a good defender, but I think he's best he'll do the best defending 2s and 3s and 4s. I don't think he can guard the point position in the NBA, but Ben Simmons does it. So maybe he could. He looks really good on the defensive end, really good on the offensive side of the ball. Great passing ability, great rebounder. Can do it all, triple-double threat. Only issue is he can't shoot the ball. It just looks ugly. But I don't think he has that transition ability like a Ben Simmons. That's the only reason I'm kind of nervous about him, is because if he was like a coast-to-coast monster, I'd say, okay, he's certified, ready to go. But he kind of lacks that ability to shoot and create his own shot besides just going to the cup every time. But again, he dominated. Best point guard I saw, and he's very impressive. Very high floor, I think. Regardless of if he develops into this or that, he's going to be a very good role player, if not starter, in the NBA for a long time. And my number 1 player is a class of 2022 guy. He is a rising sophomore, and that was Amani Bates. You have to see Amani Bates play. You have to. I seriously think it was like when people watched LeBron as a kid. He is the next whatever. He's the next Amani Bates. He is amazing. Amazing. He is 6'7", 6'8", can do everything. Can do everything offensively. Defensively, I think he uses so much on the offensive end. He's kind of lazy on defense. Doesn't really want to rebound. He's 6'7". He should be getting a lot more boards than 5 a game. But he can pass. He can shoot. He was the best shooter I saw. He was hitting stuff from the logo. He's 15 years old. He can windmill. He can 360 dunk. He can pass the ball. He had a couple great passing plays. Just amazing. Amazing. Most complete offensive skill set I've ever seen, I think, in a high school level. Everyone needs to watch that kid. Amazing. Seriously, just, he blew me away. He blew me away. Yeah. So, there you have it. For fun, I'm going to show you a little clip of a buzzer beater I saw. This is Reece Beekman. He's going to UVA. This was a crazy game. It was Phenom University against New York Renaissance, and it was a crazy game, but you can just watch this clip. Yeah, pretty crazy stuff. Peach Jam was awesome. I appreciate you guys watching this video. Please like, subscribe, and comment down below if you want to hear about some more players. I have a lot of notes on a lot of players. I have opinions on a lot of players, and yeah, I'd love to see what you have to, love to hear what you have to say. So again, peace.